Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy, and today we're going to start painting our 2025 Grabie calendar. I got this last year. I went ahead and ordered it early so that I'd have it, and then I put it away and forgot I had it. And then I found it, so here we are. I'm going to corner around all of the cards because I prefer a rounded corner. You don't have to do that. Or if you have something more decorative, you could do that. That'd be fun. Oh, that just popped in my head. I have a cute decorative stamp. Maybe next time. At any rate, this is all 140 pound cold pressed watercolor paper. It is a little bit lightweight for me. I prefer 300 pound, but this is cute. It's fun to work on. For the months moving ahead for this project, I have already drawn out the pictures on the cards through May. So if my voice still sounds like this in those videos, it's because I recorded them super early in the year when I was just getting over a cold. And I'd like to get those recorded over the next several days and put out there. Those will be real time. This one is sped up a little bit because it became a little bit of a project. I corner rounded all the months, and then I'm going to cover all of the little, or the two little feet, the little paper stands. Those are actually really sturdy cardboard. They're pretty dense, but I don't want them to be brown. I don't want to look at just a brown holder all year. So, how far am I on this? November, and then December, and we're all rounded up. I think they look better rounded, don't you? There we go. All done. Perfect. Yeah, that feels more finished to me. Now for these, I'm going to dig out some paper. I think I want to use this, but then I'm flipping through and I'm like, I really don't want to use these beautiful papers on this particular project. I'm going to save those. They're precious right now. I just got them like a couple days ago. You could use shelf paper. You could use any kind of paper you want. I have these scraps of decorative paper from previous layouts that I've done, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and do these. Now I'm just going to trace the shapes and glue them on. That's all I'm going to do. So trace them, cut them with scissors. The grandkids call them scissors. So there we go. And yeah, and then I just glue the papers on, and here's what it looks like all finished and put back together. I think it's really pretty. I used some of my acrylic markers to do the green on the tops. I chose that one just to pull it all together. And I think it turned out really nice. What do you guys think? And now we're going to go ahead and paint our flower. I went ahead and sketched this in. We're going to be using my Qor Watercolors. I have a couple different little sets. This is just the one of the ones I got at the Michael's craft store. I'm just going to wet these down and mix them up. I'm going to drop in the purples first. And while I'm doing this, I'm just listening to my book and having a good time painting. No pressure, to talk to the camera. I can just paint. Decide I want to mix a little bit of a different color purple. I'm going to go in and kind of get a base color in to start. And I don't work this fast. I have, this is ×2 recorded, time-lapsed a little bit, just because it was a 40-minute painting session, and I have to do the voiceover, and I didn't want to talk for 40 minutes. But you can see, pretty simple. Do a little glaze of purple. Trying to go around the little center bits so that I don't get purple on them, because they're going to be, I want them to stand out a little bit. they're going to be greens and a little bit darker colors, and I really wanted them to be a pure green. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm actually feeling a lot better. My voice just is, once again, not great. This is my last voiceover for the day, which is awesome. Then I'm going to rest my voice for the rest of the day today. Well, till this evening anyways. And now I'm dropping in a little bit more purple, a little bit darker in the shadowy areas. And here I drop in a little bit of blue that I think it's an ultramarine blue. I put the set away, so I don't have it in front of me right now, but and then I'm going with a darker dark where I want it to be super dark, and leaving it a little puddly for now, but I'll come back and tweak that. I do like the glazing effects of watercolor, and that you start light, and ideally you would wait for the paper to completely dry between layers, but I'm going wet into wet and just winging it. We're doing it. We're gonna make it happen. And for these little paintings, they don't need to be anything like super professional. They're just for me. Something pretty to look at on the monthly calendar that's sitting on my desk. Off to the left over here. It's very pretty. I really like it, how it turned out in the end. This ends up being a mixed media piece. It's not strictly a watercolor piece. And did I say already that these are going to be, moving forward, the last Sunday of the month painting for the next month? I already have them all set up, so that's going to be the schedule for this particular monthly project. I want it to be the, previous month, last week of the month kind of situation. Okay, enough about that. You guys get it. Dropping in some more darks. I really like that blue, so I'm going to try and tap it in other areas to kind of bring it through the piece. And then I have too much water here, so I'm just drying off the brush a bit and lifting it up. And then I want more blue in there to pull that through the whole piece, so I drop that in here and there. Because it looks odd in just one place when you do that. If you put in a color and it won't lift, or you're like, I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite, just drop it in other areas and let it dry and go over it again. I moved the other calendars out from under because I'm going to do some edge work for the stem of the flower. And I didn't want to get the paint on the other cards. This is a fun little monthly project, right? Do a little drawing, something you can just leave out. The first few are going to be flowers, and then I have a bunny drawn out and a bird. So moving forward, you can look forward to those little pieces. That'll be fun. And for florals, for this kind of floral, I feel like the paint that's on the in this palette is a nice little selection. Don't really need more than that. My paint spread out in the cup. It dripped in. It looks pretty. I'm just dropping in some deeper color in the shadowy areas. And these leaves are kind of textured, so in the drawing itself, I wanted to be pretty textured. So that's what's going on right now. getting in those textures. Oh, now I'm popping the green in the little green, I don't know what you call these. I'm still learning botanicals. The little end center of the flower. And then I don't want the background to be just plain white, so I'm going to go ahead and wet it down with the mud on the brush, and that kind of tints it. And then I want to darken little bits here and there, so it looks like, you know, it's the flower's not just kind of floating in space. It's actually in some sort of atmosphere, but at the same time not completely covering up the calendar. And this green is a bit granulating, which is really nice, so I like the effect when it gets all dry. It looks really pretty. Going a little darker at the bottom, and then I'm going to leave it a little bit lighter at the moving towards the top, just so we don't drown out that beautiful purple flower. Make it pop a little bit against that green. That looks nice. There we go. I like it. And when it dries down, it looks. I'm checking to see if that's dry enough to do more work. Oh, yep. Pop it in with some ink work, but I want it to dry completely. So here we are with it completely dry. I hit it with the heat tool off camera. And now I'm going in with my brand new Christmas present brush pen that I have yet to use. And I love it. I love this brush pen. I'd like a nice collection of different sizes. That would be cool. A really fine one. And then a chunkier one. This is kind of mid-size for me. But I like a line and wash painting. So this really speaks to me. You can either do the line work before or after, but I find with watercolor, some of your colors will make those bold black lines feel muddied afterwards. So if you're looking for bold black lines, I recommend doing your watercolor part first and letting it dry completely, and then going over that with your ink work. Unless you're really good at being super careful. I'm not. And I want it to be bold in some areas, and that lost edge, so we don't outline the whole thing, a lot of it, but not the whole thing. Leave some soft lost edges here and there. That's interesting to the eye, and your eye will do the work for you. You don't have to outline every little thing when you do something like this. You can leave a lot of lost edges, and the color and your eye will fill that in for you, for the viewer. And once again, this is ×2, so I do take my time a little bit with it. And I know it's satisfying to watch line work. I do a little pointillism as well in the deep shadow areas. Just little dots, that's all pointillism is. Little dots. And the closer they are, the darker it appears. The farther apart, the less dark. So pointillism can be a lot of fun. And you don't have to do pointillism in just one color either, like all black or anything like that. I've done pointillism pieces with my Faber-Castell Artist Pit pens, changing out the color as I go. So if I'm doing, say, this flower, I would use my different greens for the green areas and my different purples and pinks for the other areas. Just that kind of thought pattern. And for the shadows, I would go in with a purple or a darker blue to get that effect, or even black or gray or a brown. It's a fun thing to play with. It is time consuming. But I enjoy those kinds of projects. They speak to me. They're hard to film though because they do take so long to do. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot through this one. I really would like my voice to come back. Details. What do you guys think of the line in Watercolor Works? Is that up your alley? Do you like that kind of thing? Do you find it to be visually appealing? Another thing that's fun is to do a completely line drawing on any color paper and then put a pop of color, just one color, on the piece. I find that to be visually appealing as well. It's very striking to look at too. Or it can be if you don't overdo the color. And this is a very light hand in a lot of areas, barely touching the paper. You want a heavier line with a brush pen, you press down a little harder, and it folds that. It's like using a little paintbrush. The nicer brush pens for me, I like a softer brush on a brush pen. I want it to bend and move as I'm using it. I want to get that different thickness and thinness of line as I go. Not always. If I don't want that, I will use a firm tipped ink pen. I won't use a brush pen. What am I doing? Oh, that blue spot was really bugging me. I decided to go in and I don't feel like the blue is balanced in the piece as much as I'd like it to be. So I'm going in and kind of popping it in throughout the piece here and there. And it does actually help quite a lot with the shadows and the contrast in the flower, I think. There we go. See, it's looking a little bit more interesting. And I found that to be true with most of my pieces if I'm more patient with my layers. It just looks better. And with watercolor, most art mediums really, watercolor especially, waiting for your layers to dry is really beneficial. I love this brush, by the way. I've never had one of these brushes before. I forget what it's called. Where are you? Do you have words on you? I got it in the Grabie art box, and I've been thinking about getting it. Oh, it's a Quill brush. I've been thinking it's a number 3 round synthetic Quill brush from Grabie. I've been thinking about getting a set of these in different sizes for a while. It's really nice. Oh, and then on top, see, truly a mixed media piece. I've got watercolor. I've got ink, black ink, and now I'm going over with acrylic marker to bring back some of the light areas and make them pop. These are also from Grabie. If you want to see what they look like in their package, they in my unboxing list, one of my recent videos is the prizes video that I got. I collected all of Grabie's scrapbooking boxes last year and got the whole puzzle and got the free prize. at the end of the year, and it was a really nice prize. So I did this is what I got for my prize this year video. And and I was going to get myself some acrylic markers and didn't last year. So this was a really nice prize for me. Kind of ticked a box. I wanted brush tips. These are hard tips, but it's totally fine. I will use them. And that's pretty much it. That's all we got. Let me know what you think in the comments below. A little close up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. Bye.